A new season of football in Canberra. We are at Deakin Stadium. Welcome for the 2019 Charity Shield. Canberra FC versus Gungahlin United, the treble winners against last year's Cup runners-up. I'm Russ Gibbs, your commentator for this match this evening. Joining me in the commentary position here at Deakin Stadium is head coach of Belconnen United, Steve Forshaw. Welcome to a new season of Premier League football. Steve, should be another cracking year.
Really looking forward to it, Russ. I mean, two good teams tonight to start the season off. Gungahlin with a plethora of new signings, looking to actually improve on what was for them a really disappointing season. And FC, of course, as you mentioned, treble winners last year and looking to go again.
The teams coming onto the field here at Deakin Stadium. We'll run through them in just a moment. This is the first of 4 matches in 3 days live on Bar TV Sports, of which we're bringing you commentary. All the rest you can see streamed live. Tomorrow, of course, Belconnen United versus Canberra FC Women's Premier League underway. Then a double-header from Woden Park on Sunday, where we see Canberra Olympic play Queanbeyan City and Cooma Tigers play Monera Panthers in the FFA Cup. You can catch those games with commentary. The rest of the FFA Cup games you can watch streamed, including Steve's Belconnen United against Western Molonglo. Should be some entertaining Cup action.
Well, it's a really good way for certainly the NPL 1 teams to kick off their season. Some of the NPL 2 teams, of course, have already had a Cup game. But as an introduction to the season proper, the Cup gets us underway, and it's something that I know all the boys at Belconnen are looking forward to.
It's probably the biggest tournament in Canberra at the moment, the FFA Cup qualifying, and that's will be the focus for the next week or so. What we are today, though, is the Charity Shield, always a traditional curtain raiser, the friendly, if you like, but it's never really a friendly when two teams in the NPL lock horns, especially when we're at Deakin Stadium where trophies are a given. Looking at the two teams, starting with Canberra FC, new coach Luca Ujda, after Paul Makor handed in his resignation at the end of last season. His first selection is as follows. A little bit of a surprise as well. 4-4-2 he's gone. Jordan Thurtell in goal. Aidan Brunskill, Daniel Subasic, Ryan Keir, Matt Waters across the back. Jordan Lamb, Daniel Cole-Bataldo, Nicky Yardrich, Jason Ugrinich in midfield. Daniel Balach and Lucas Mirages up front, which means his big hitters, Matt Gerbish, Ian Graham, Dom Giampaolo on the bench.
Yeah, it's perhaps a surprising lineup, but what I can gather, and certainly I haven't seen them play in the pre-season, but some of the young lads that he's included have been going really well, and I think Lucas Mirages got 4 not long ago, so he's obviously done really well and retained his place. Jason Ugrinich, recent signing from Belconnen, is a proven goal scorer. Cole Bataldo from Olympic, of course, has been one of the mainstays and better players of the competition over the last 3 or 4 seasons. So still a very strong lineup, but it emphasises just what sort of depth they've got when you can have a bench that includes somebody like Matty Gerbisher.
Gungahlin United with a plethora, as you said, of new signings as well, and they have quite a few of them in their lineup today. Josh Laguda in goal, Ross Costanzo, Lachlan Griffiths and Bud Abbas in a back 3. 4 in midfield, Augustin Bangura, Nick Rathjen, Tom McLaughlin and Josh Kaspari up front. Jeremy Habtemariam, Michael John and Mishko now Moski as the rain starts coming down here at Deakin Stadium. A 3-4-3 for Marcel Munoz. We're expecting lots of movement, lots of pace, and a fairly fluid style of football from Gungahlin.
Certainly, I don't think they'll change much from last year. They employed the 3-4-3 system for most of the season last year. They're a very, very much a possession-based side. Some of the players that they've brought in have been brought in to try and solve a problem that they've had in front of goals, because certainly last season they were very dominant, but didn't come away with the points purely and simply because of missed chances, and they'll be looking to rectify that. If they can, they're a real threat. They
only scored 21 league goals in 16 matches last year. Compare that with 16 in 4 games in their FFA Cup campaign, which got them to the final where they lost to Canberra FC. Rather unfortunately, you'd have to say, some decisions went against them that day, otherwise they would have been representing Canberra in the FFA Cup for the second time.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. They acquitted themselves extremely well in that particular competition. It was in the second half of the home and aways that they let themselves down. I think they probably only won 2 games out of the last 7 or 8. And once again, it came down to their inability to put the ball in the back of the net.
Referee Shane Lyson-Smith is about to get us underway. Canberra FC won the lot last year. Where to from here for those in red? On the line, Adam Powers and Jai Lyris. Alex McConaughey is the 4th official. Canberra FC attacking the goal to our left in the first half in their traditional red shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Ugrinich with his first touch looks for a ball forward. With nice touch there from Mirages, his first involvement, and looks to take on
Rathjen.
Yeah, Nick Rathjen at the back.
Oh.
Early starts. You know a little bit about Lucas Mirages. He played for Belconnen last year as well. He's made the move over here and playing in a more forward position than when we saw him on Bar TV last year, where he was mostly deployed as a fullback.
Lucas, yeah, like you say, was with Belconnen last year. He actually suffered a little bit through injury, missed games.
We'll just break off there a second, Steve, as Ugrinich lines one up from range, hits one, it swerves, and Josh Laguda's called into action early doors, and that was moving.
It was moved a long way, didn't it? But Josh has done really well. Got it away. And
flag up against Miragis on the follow-up. Yeah, tell us a little bit what you think, Steve.
Yeah, Lucas went on from Belconnen to play in the National Youth League. And, that's where he really is. Winter season, if you like, playing through the summer with Dean Ugrinich, and that sort of brought him to the attention of Luca Ujdor, who was the assistant in the youth league, and he's decided to try his luck here at Deakin.
I'm sure we'll see plenty of him throughout the season. Here's Gungahlin, one of the new signings for Gungahlin. Rathjen looking for the run of Hubter Merriam, who's champion at the bit to get a game of football, and he's not played anything since round 6 last year, Steve, because of that administrative mess where he came to Canberra FC and never put on a shirt in a competitive match.
No, well, there's quite a few players that, well, a couple of players in the Gungahlin side that were here last year at FC, and, you know, Jeremy Haptamariam's one of them and Costanzo the other. So they'll be looking to do well against the club that they represented last year, or hope to represent. There was some conjecture that Jeremy Haptamariam might not play at all this year. I think he'd grown a little disillusioned with what occurred last year. But here he is, like you say, jumping at the bed, and let's hope he does well. Younger
brother Sam Haptamariam on the bench. We might see him a little bit later on. Subisic sends it forward, and Brunskill on the overlap. Bit of space for Aidan Brunskill to advance into. Not much options ahead of him. Ugrinich, he's won himself a free kick though, within shooting range.
This is Ugrinich territory, this. He doesn't mind a pop from here.
Well, Luca was saying before kickoff that Jordan Thurtell's probably their best free kick taker in goal, and he's got a heck of a strike on him. Did allude to the fact that if there's one close to the edge of the box, he may come up and take it, but he's stayed put for this one, and this is definitely a left footer and definitely within range for Jason Ugrinich. Didn't have the best of season in front of goals at Belconnen last year. Wouldn't want to be getting off to a fly if he can here. Lining it up left-footed. Will he test the goalkeeper? Looks like he will, and Laguda's there and almost lost it underneath his body. Decent hits and nice stop for the goalkeeper.
Nice, comfortable stop for him. You know, at the early part of the game, he's had to pull off 2 decent saves, and he's done that, and that will give him a lot of confidence. They miss, of course, Jack Green today, one of their linchpins in defence, and it'll be interesting to see how this makeshift back three, or apparent makeshift back three, actually copes with the pace and power of FC.
Green's been named amongst the substitutes. He was in the starting 11 until a couple of hours before kickoff. I understand he's carrying a little bit of a knock, so rather than risk him from the start, they've selected Bud Abbas on the left of the back three. Colbertaldo back to Thurtell, and he'll look for Waters on this near side, playing at fullback today. Good ball forward to Miragis, takes it in his stride. And sliding challenge from Griffiths, who comes across. And FC get on with it quickly. Here's Ugrinich. There is Abbas clearing as far as Hubter Merriam. Colbertaldo wins it back though. Keir to Waters. Looking to find someone inside the penalty area, but that should be easy for Griffiths. Wins his side to throw in. Interesting to see Rathjen dropping into the back three to make a 4 when they lose possession. Neither of these teams struggling for goals over the last couple of pre-season matches. Gungahlin beat Bully 5-0 and 7-0 against White Eagles, whilst Canberra FC went to South Coast United and retained the Toyota Cup with a 7-1 win there on the back of a 6-1 win over NUFC. So it doesn't suggest that goals will be a problem for either of these sides. No. I mean, it's all contextual, isn't it? It depends on the standard of your opposition, and these are two very evenly matched sides, so it may well be that they cancel each other out, but on present form you would look forward to a few goals. And it's pre-season as well, don't forget, and the real action starts next Friday. Canberra FC, Canberra Olympic, round 1 of the NPL. We'll bring you that as well. Should be a good start to the season. Here's Colbertaldo. He'll surely line up against his former club next week. It was Daniel Barach getting on with it quickly. Miragis, who's been the spearhead so far. Colbertaldo. Not many red shirts to aim for in the penalty area.
No, they're a little slow in transition then. I mean, that's what happens in pre-season, though. You're still finding your feet. No matter how many pre-season games you play, when you go into a first competitive match, there's still some rust to be shaken off.
Some in the commentary box as well, I'm sure.
Possibly.
Here's Keir. Yardrich. Waters. Yardrich again, another of the young brigades that looking to make their mark at Canberra FC this season.
Yeah, another player that did well over the summer in the youth league. Buddy Abbas was another one.
Colbertaldo with a raking ball forward, and it's a good one too, and a chance for Ugrinich if he can keep it in play, but it just skipped away off the surface. Had a little bit of light rain throughout the day here at Deakin Stadium. It's clouded over a bit as well. They're expecting a storm at some stage. Let's hope it clears off before, after we've cleared off, I should say, before that comes. We're in a metal structure here.
Yeah, could do with that lightning.
Absolutely. At least we're not on the top tier.
It'll make your hair curl.
We do have cameramen on the top tier as well, so they'll be hoping lightning doesn't strike there. Here's Costanzo returning to his former club. Griffiths. Gungahlin. Abbas, rather tepid opening stages, Steve, in the first 8 or so minutes.
Very much the Gungahlin way, though, to actually keep possession, just keep the ball moving, keep passing it around and wait for the correct moment for penetration.
Maybe Lamb can inject a little bit of pace into the attack here. Try to get through, the ball ricochets nicely, and it's Laguda out very fast. Good piece of goalkeeping from the Gungahlin number 1. Needed to be on his toes. Here's Costanzo. Griffiths. I'm sure it's a question we'll ask throughout the season, Steve, but Canberra FC obviously won the lot last year, went out in the FFA Cup in around a 32, probably not what they wanted. And is that the challenge for Luka Ujda this year? Is that to go one better, win this, win everything, and try and get further in the FFA Cup? I mean, it's a real ask.
Yeah, I think obviously when you win everything in one season, there is a level of expectation that's probably unreasonable. I think Luka would be really happy if he got one trophy, was able to retain one trophy. The goal they set for themselves will be to try and do as well as they can in every competition. But the bottom line is it's very, very difficult to win 3. To do it 2 years in a row is even harder. I don't think people should get carried away with the fact that those expectations exist.
I'm sure they don't within the club. I mean, obviously there are high expectations at Canberra FC, and they do expect to win most things that they're in. But with the quality there is around the league, and we saw it last year with a very unpredictable mix-up towards the end of the season when 5 or 6 teams could have made finals, and but for some administrative errors, Woden, Western and Riverina were in with a shout as well. So we're hopeful that they can all go close again this year, and we get some really exciting football here in Canberra.
So. I think that the way the competition has grown over the last few seasons has meant that there's not that much difference now between the very best teams and the very worst, and it makes for a very even competition. There's still some questions around the quality, but that seems to be improving year on year as well. So we can look forward to a really good season, and we're actually seeing some decent football here at the moment. But as you say, not a lot of chances being created by Gungahlin.
Well, here's Ugrinich in behind. First real opportunity for him, but again, it skipped away off the surface.
And FC are making the running at the moment.
Yeah, Michael John, a bit of an isolated figure up front at the moment in this 3-4-3. It's more of a 3-6-1 at the moment, isn't it?
It is. I'm actually looking forward to Josh Gaspari trying to sort of influence this game. He's he's been quiet so far, but he is a player that can actually, once he puts a stamp on the game, can change it.
Here's Nemoski looking for John. First real involvement for him. Good turn as well from Michael John, and got his shot away, but not enough power on it. Did score crucial goal for Olympic here last year.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And in the final had another chance to actually make it 2-0, if you recall. Just rolled it when he went round the keeper, just rolled it past the post.
In the grand final that was decided by a brace of goals from Thomas James. Banging him in now for Wollongong Wolves. That's a free kick, a little shove on Griffiths by Miragis. These Charity Shield last year. Remember if we were at Melrose for that one when we in Canberra Olympic beat Tuggeranong United 3-1. A couple of goals from Jeremy Habtemarian in that game. Here's Gaspari. Stands out.
19 goals, Thomas James, for the Reds last year. That's a lot to replace. And obviously they're looking at people like Moragas, Barach, New Greenwich to fill the gap.
26 in all competitions when you count the cup and everything else. It's a lot of goals considering their second highest goal scorer was Kofi Downing with 9, and he's also not here. And then Michael Mensah with 5.
And he's not here.
And he's not here either. Yeah. So, like you said, there is a lot of goals, but Daniel Barach and New Greenwich, both noted goal scorers. And as you said, Moragas has started off well, got 4 against South Coast United. 5 in pre-season, scored the winning goal against O'Connor Knights in the all-Croatian friendly, I guess you could call that. Here's FC on the attack with Yardrich. Here is Greenwich. Moragas has made the run. It's a good switch instead towards Barach. It's peeled away. Lamb. Good touch from Moragas. Can't shake the shackles. Griffiths sticking to him like glue at the moment. And off comes Bangura. Habtemarian calls for it near side, but a couple of sloppy touches from Jeremy Habtemarian so far, but that's probably conducive of a player who's not seen much action for over a year.
Certainly can't be the pitch. It's in perfect condition.
It doesn't matter how fit you are, does it? At the end of the day, these nothing like playing football.
That's right. It's all about match
your
practice.
touch back.
Yeah. But interesting, isn't it, with the FC, how it's changed its front three. It's predominantly a left-footed attack now. If you look at the 3 main strikers, all of them stronger on the left-hand side.
A lot of left-footers in this team. Matty Waters at left-back as well. Ivan Pavlak not here today. Congratulations to him. He got married in the off-season. I believe he just got back from his honeymoon overseas.
Yeah, I saw him earlier on. He's here watching.
Looking healthy. Here's Barach. Yeah, he's someone else to come into this squad as well, so plenty of quality. Barach bursts away from Griffiths. Real chance here, perhaps for FC. Into the air, pulls it back from Moragas, and he's just sliced it over the crossbar. Always leaning back. The youngster didn't quite get it under control. Good chance.
It was a good chance. I mean, Barach has done extremely well. He's battled through the challenge, got himself into a lot of space, got his head up, and Lucas Moragas probably should have done better.
Came on him a bit quickly, didn't he? Seemed to get his feet stuck under it and will be disappointed.
Oh, not his stronger side. He probably...
Maybe could let it come across his body.
Yeah, well, he'd probably thinking no matter what, he should have hit the target.
But warning for Gungahlin. Griffiths.
Two or three good chances. Griffiths, another player that I think had some part to play in the summer, and he's just had a shaky start in the middle of the back 3.
He's not got the calming influence of Jack Green next to him again.
And it makes a big difference, doesn't it?
Here's Colbertaldo. Whatever FC do this season, he's sure to play a big part, and that's a good ball out wide. Looking for Brunskill. 3 red shirts to aim for in the penalty area, but it's the green shirt of Laguda who's quickest to anticipate.
Yeah, it's reasonably obvious at this early stage that FC are looking to exploit the spaces outside the back 3. If the midfield don't track the runners, then there's all sorts of problems in store for Gungahlin. They've already got in behind them on both sides of the park, exploiting that space. Something that Gungahlin are going to have to fix. Marcel Munoz will be looking to sort that out quickly.
Gungahlin turn over the ball, and here is Yardrich. Finds Barach. Yardrich goes for the return, but runs into Griffiths. Made it a bit too easy for the centre-back. Habtemarian runs into the wall, and it's Colbertaldo dancing his way into the penalty area. Looking to pick out the ball on the far post. Moragas rises. It might fall for you, Greenwich on the edge of the box. Oof. Juggles it, volleys it goalwards, and that's a brilliant save from Josh Laguda to tip it over the crossbar, straight down his throat, but he needed to be agile.
A very, very good save. I mean, Greenwich's done exceptionally well. He's beaten his defender, and he's got his shot away quickly. Gungahlin probably a little bit standoffish, but in the end kept in it by a wonderful save from their new goalkeeper, Josh Laguda.
It's a confidence builder for the youngster between the sticks.
Well, he's done nothing wrong so far. His handling's been good, distribution's been good, and he's made 1 or 2 decent saves.
Greenwich must have thought he had broken the deadlock with that one. It was a good effort too. They go short with the corner. Moragas, Lamb, tried to find it through to Greenwich. It's straight offside. Flag did go up. Gone back down straight away. I'm sure Gungahlin would rather the free kick.
They would now.
Ball forward from Lamb, looking for Barach or Ugrinich. It's 2 against 1 here for a moment. It's come to Jason Ugrinich on that left foot. Chance if he pulls it back. Barach, open goal, and he stabs it over the crossbar. The second time a Canberra FC striker's had a good chance with no one in nets.
Yeah, absolutely. If Lucas Moragas had a chance on his left foot, Daniel Barach really has to hit the target from there, and he'd be disappointed he hasn't scored. But once again, we see the fragility of the back three at Gungahlin. They're just being exposed far too easily.
Got too much on it, didn't he? If you got a stud on it, it probably trickles over the goal line.
Yeah.
But that's 2 good chances gone begging for FC so far.
And we all know what that can mean.
A 0-0 draw at this stage. Charity Shield football, live on Bar TV Sports from Canberra, the traditional curtain raiser. Waters finds Barach. Waters again, bit of a late start here in Canberra. I understand they're about round 6 down the VPL in Victoria already.
Yeah.
Lots of games down there.
Yeah, most of the MPLs in interstate have started and well underway. And you were alluding to it earlier on that Thomas James has made a great start with Wollongong Wolves.
Yeah, 5 goals in 3 games, I understand. Here's Miragis bursting into the box, and that's Abbas who was back to deny him. Scored an absolute belter, Thomas James, against Sydney United.
Saw it, yeah.
It's on doing the rounds on social media.
Yeah.
After he got a hat-trick the other week. Scored against Belconnen United in pre-season friendly from the spots when the Wolves came down here.
He did.
A 2-0 win for the Wollongong side.
It's something that Alex Connicky and myself discussed regularly, the awarding of that particular spot kick.
It was let's just say, an odd decision. Alex McConaughey, the 4th official today. Here's Gaspari within shooting range.
We've got to remember that it's pre-season for the referees as well, and you'd rather, if they're going to make a mistake, do it then than when it really counts.
Looked almost apologetic when he scored, didn't he, TJ, on that occasion?
He did.
Here's Sibicic. Now Lamb. Finds Kier. Happy to go back to Thurtell. Something else that FC have got 2 good goalkeepers, John Thurtell and Sam Brown on the bench as well.
Yeah. Got a lot of depth right throughout the squad in every line.
Speaking of goalkeepers, our best wishes to Angelo Constantino, who ruptured his Achilles playing in the Futsal Premier League Grand Final on Wednesday. He's going to be out for the season. The Futsalu's international goalkeeper.
Oh, at least it means that somebody... I mean, it's very sad for Angelo, who has been an absolute servant to Olympic and local football, but it means it opens the door for one of the younger keepers at Olympic. They won't have to go trying to buy good goalkeepers.
Well, we'll see who they pick on Sunday, who Frank Asia plumps for. He's got James Christis or Mason Interlandy to pick from.
2 good young keepers. I mean, Mason did really well last year, didn't he, when he stepped in for Angelo?
We'll see what Frank H is going to do when Canberra Olympic play Queanbeyan City in the FFA Cup qualifier. First of a double-header, 3 o'clock, Woden Park on Sunday afternoon. Still no goals here in the Charity Shield, and free kick. Brunskill brings down Bangura. First real decision that Shane Lyson-Smith's had to make. It's been fairly quiet so far for the referee. Here's Habtemariam. We're going to swing it into the penalty area. John is in there. It's asking a lot from the striker. He's done reasonably well, though. He might fall for Nomoski. And it's FC on the counter with Yardrich. Miragis looks to run Abbas. Good ball, too, but the defender gets a foot in. It's going to run loose for Barach. And he finds Ugrinich on that left foot. Jason Ugrinich fires one a goal, and Laguda's there, but he can only push it away. And he's helped out defensively. But once again, questions asked down this near side.
Yeah, and once again, goalkeeper steps in. I mean, might have done better.
Kier almost squeezed that one through as well.
With his handling, but the ball did move a lot in the air again, didn't we? We've seen these new match balls provided this year from Mitre, I think they are.
It shifted a bit, didn't it?
It does, and that's a couple we've seen move through the air. But the goalkeeper's done well, and his defenders are backing him up really well.
Just got a message from Angelo Constantino, actually. Says he should be good for Sunday. I'm assuming he's talking about the commentary and not playing.
Oh, well, Angelo's a very good goalkeeper, and maybe he only needs to do one leg.
He's on a moon boot. I'm sure that'll be fine.
Yeah, that'll do.
He'll be okay. He's going in for surgery next week, I understand.
I thought he used to play in 2 moon boots, so he's only got 1. He should be a lot more mobile.
He's hoping to join myself in commentary for the Olympic Queanbeyan game on Sunday. Good ball forward from Ugrinich, looking for Barac, and he's got goal side here, Daniel Barac, and he lifts it over Laguda, and Canberra FC take the lead. They've threatened on a number of occasions, and the simplest ball down the middle finds Daniel Barac. He needed to find the finish, and he did.
Yeah, lovely finish, nice and composed. It seems that Laguda's made a call there because Buddy Abbas had that covered and could have cleared it, but it would appear that he's got a call from his keeper, and that's caused all sorts of confusion. 1-0 FC, and probably not undeserved.
Decent finish, wasn't it? He
Yeah,
needed
good
finishing,
finish.
and he lifted it over him, and that's the sort of kind of composure that we expected from him a little bit earlier on.
But once again, they're getting exposed at the back with the back three. It's just not quite clicking for them yet.
The off-season signing from the Tigers opens his FC account
From Belconnen.
from Belconnen, rather. Opens his account for Canberra FC.
Ugrinich, Moragas, Barac. We jokingly refer to them as Belconnen B.
Danny Bash did have a spell at Tigers
He
a
did,
while
yeah.
ago.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
And Canberra Olympic as well.
He's been around.
But he's in the red shirt now, and he's opened his account. No Anthony Timotheo for Gungahlin today. He's suspended, and he'll serve his suspension. He'll miss the FFA Cup match against UC Pumas as well, but should be back for round 2. I think he misses the first round league fixture as well. Here's Cobertaldo battling with Rathjen. Griffiths running into a cul-de-sac here, but he's done well
He's done really well.
post it away, and the whistle's gone. And it's gone twice here, and I think it's gone against Cobertaldo.
Why not play on? I mean,
They had the ball, didn't they,
yeah.
Gungahlin?
I certainly didn't see a free kick the other way that might have warranted a stop in play. And, you know, they had the ball and they were playing, so you might as well have let it go. But like we said, pre-season for referees as well.
Nomoski into John, looking to turn. It's going to fall for Rathjen, who fizzes one goalwards, and that wasn't too far away.
Great strike.
I think Jordan Thurtell got a hand on it, in fact, or it may have taken a deflection. Either way, it's a corner.
Well, if he has got a hand on that, it's a fantastic save because it's a wonderful strike from distance from Nicky Rathjen, almost bringing them back on level terms.
Giving it some absolute venom from that distance, and I think Thurtell may have got a finger to it. Gaspari will take the set piece. First chance for Gungahlin to load the penalty area.
This is where they missed Jack Green in a forward sense.
Good ball in, and the header's goalwards, and it's in. It's 1-1. They didn't miss Jack Green at all in a forward sense. It's an equalising goal, and I think is it Griffiths? It's stolen in there and did exactly what his captain does and nods Gungahlin level.
Yes, interesting. I mean, just as I was saying, they don't need Jack Green. But it's a great corner, great ball in from Gaspari, and Griffiths first to it. Just enough on it to beat the keeper. Nobody on the post, 1-1.
Super header. Knocks it goalwards, and that's the curse of the commentator. He got that one out the way early, Steve. Couldn't make it up, could you? There's 1-1.
I blame Jack Green for that.
It was a quiet opening, and then we scored 2 goals in 4 minutes or so, and we did promise you some goals. We thought there might be. Morad just wants a corner. He's not going to get one. And Gungahlin back on level terms with their first meaningful attack.
It's the first chance, apart from, I mean, it comes after the great shot from Rathjen and a good save from Thurtell, but it really is the only time they've threatened all game.
Here's Abbas. McLaughlin. Constanzo. Yeah, credit to Griffiths. It was a beautifully guided header. Got in front of his marker and did what he had to do. Despairing dive from Thurtell. He couldn't keep it out. There's always an argument about having a player on the post or two. And that's one of the reasons why you perhaps should. Here's Hub to Merriam. Costanzo looking to cross. Decent ball in. Nomovsky's on the far post and he couldn't guide his header goalwards, and all of a sudden the black and white shirts are flooding forwards.
That's a lovely cross, and Mishko Nomovsky really should have done better with his header. It's beaten all the defenders. It's put him into a space where he can actually knock it back across the face of the goal, and he's just not enough power on it at all.
Yeah, he held his head in his hands. He was disappointed.
He should be.
Well, game now brimming with promise after a fairly quiet and lethargic opening. Here's Costanzo. Waters looking to take the throw. There's a few drops of rain around the grounds.
Speed up the surface a little bit, makes for a better game, I think.
Keir forward towards Miragis. Griffiths, the goal scorer, gets in the way, but Miragis has it back. Waters to Jadric. Back to Subasic. Jadric again. Nicely worked that. Space for Waters. He's got Miragis ahead of him, and he's asked him to go into the channel. And he kind of checked his run for a moment, thought he was offside.
He did. He had a quick look at the line, and he was offside, yeah.
But maybe Waters could have gone inside the fullback there with that pass initially. Yeah. But I guess when you got the pace of Miragis, it's tempting to just get him on his bike.
It is, but I mean, in terms of doing something a little bit different than just getting in behind the wider of the back three, the variation might be to go inside every now and again and let Miragis' pace take people away.
Subasic back to Thurtell, needs to get rid of it. Under pressure from Nomoski and John. Sends that towards the
clubhouse.
Yeah, well, they're renovating in front of there, aren't they? They're putting some new changing rooms in as well.
I think they're going to go to a 4 changing room setup, aren't they?
Yeah, and I understand there's going to be a new building over this side as well for the media commentary box and stuff, which is going to be nice.
Very good.
Here's Gaspari. Griffiths stretched to reach that one. Abbas finds McLaughlin. And that's an overhit through ball, and simple for Canberra FC. 23rd league title last year.
Embryonic signs from Gungahlin that they're just creeping back into the game, though. The goals lifted them a little bit.
The FA Cup final last year saw a couple of early goals. Michael Ronaldo gave Gungahlin the lead. Matt Gerbish equalised, and then a brace from Kofi Danning, now at Canberra Olympic. Won it for Canberra FC despite an own goal from Daniel Subasic in stoppage time. I understand he scored an own goal against South Coast United as well. Ruined Jordan Thurtell's clean sheet, they were telling me before kick-off.
There you go.
6-0 up at half-time, and then drew the second half 1 apiece.
Yeah. Pattern starting to form with the own goals. Huh?
Here's your Greenwich. Good ball in as well, and Barach was there, but that's a decent header from Griffiths.
Yep.
Falls for Lamb. No real options. He's twisting and turning, looking to get that ball into the area. And Griffiths is there once more, doing a job at both ends. Here's John again, a little bit isolated. And gets a two-handed shove in the back. That should be a free kick.
And is.
As I mentioned, Canberra FC won their 23rd league title last year. They've only lost once in their last 6 competitive outings. That was the qualification final we did here last year to Canberra Olympic.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's a different season, different players, different coach, so you don't sort of necessarily transition that form from 18 into 19, but they're a strong outfit, and they've started this game reasonably well. They look to be in decent nick.
Talking about where the goals might come from now that Thomas James has gone, the players they brought in, Jason Ugrinnick's got 4 last year, Danny Barach got 10, Danny Colbertaldo grabbed 3, and Dom Giampaolo on the bench got 7. So they're basically sharing them out a little bit more, they'd hope, rather than just relying on the individual brilliance of one player to maybe pull them out of the fire.
Look, Jason Ugrinnick, apart from last year, has got well into double figures nearly every season when he was at Belconnen, and I can't see that he wouldn't do the same.
Well, that's his ball to Waters, and that was a decent ball in, and Griffiths is there again defensively.
And after a shaky start, he's come good, as well as scoring.
Floodlights on here at Deakin Stadium. Football under lights is always good, Steve.
Don't get that in the northern suburbs.
No floodlit football at McKellar this season. You've probably seen that in the news if you follow Canberra football. Here's Keir. Not ideal, Steve, but we won't get into the politics of that right now. We had a good discussion about it off air, though, didn't we?
We did. We did.
Here's Laguda. Looks for Hab to marry him. This will be a challenge with him and Waters wins it. Canberra FC Player of the Year last year, Matty Waters.
Very good player. I mean, we've spoken previously when we've done games here about how consistent he is and how influential he is with this side. And normally he would be playing in a more advanced area, but with Greenwich in front of him, he's been dropped into a fullback role. And he's handling that with some aplomb as well.
Says a lot for the quality that they've got in their team when probably Matty Waters is whose position is most under threat when Pavlak comes back as well, where they're going to fit him into this outfit. Yeah. Here's Ugrinich. That's a headache for Luca Ujda,
well,
and not ourselves.
No, and I should imagine Luca is very, very pleased to have that sort of headache, because Pavlak is another one that is a very, very good player. And as we say before, another left footer.
And Grease Lightning when he gets going.
Oh, yeah,
absolutely
very quick.
Rapid across the turf.
Might have slowed down now that he's been on his honeymoon.
Married man now. Won't be allowed out as often. Here's Waters. Sebasic at the back. Colbertaldo. Kier. Speeds up on the turf, but Waters is going to keep it in front of us in the commentary position. Ugrinich. Nice body roll. Lamb. Shooting chance for Lamb perhaps, but he slips at the inopportune moment.
No, they really are flooding the midfield, Gungahlin, but they can't come to terms with the quick ball movement of FC. You know, MJ's actually staying up front by himself, so the other players are dropping in to assist the midfield. It's just giving them like a six-man midfield, and they still can't control the FC forward movement.
Gungahlin looking to change all of that.
Good
Here's
ball.
John. Steps away from his marker, but runs into Waters. Perhaps I need to get Gaspari on it a little bit more. He's had a quiet opening half an hour. Bangira. Griffiths. Rathjen. Looks for Habtemeriam and
Good idea.
skipped away off the surface again, didn't it? It was
just a hard one for him to catch that. But it was a good idea. At
Yeah,
least they
a
were
little
trying to get in behind.
just a tad over hit. Here's Ugrinich, and lucky to get that one back. FC ball. Here's Balac, who opened the scoring. Yardrich, who's been busy. And that's standard Colbertaldo. Just a step across the ball, nice and composed in the tight areas. And that's not standard Brunskill, sliding it into touch.
A little bit of sloppy play there. But Jadrich and Colbertaldo certainly bossing the midfield in this game.
Without their club skipper, Ian Graham, today, he's on the bench, and the two players selected ahead of him are doing a good job. 1-1 in the Charity Shield.
I think Gungahlin will be relatively happy with that as we go into the sort of last 10 or 12.
Well, FC have created the better of the chances, but
Certainly.
they did take the lead. Gungahlin with their one real effort on goal, apart from the save that led to the corner. And they're level. And that's overhit as well from Griffiths. Apologises to Abbas. Colbertaldo in the middle of the park has been a mainstay of that Canberra Olympic team for a number of years, and could have been easy for him to just stay there. He's taken the chance to move across to Canberra FC.
Yeah, he's obviously a player that's achieved everything he can with Olympic, and he's, like you say, he's looking for a new challenge, and he's the sort of player that can really make a team tick. He's been by far and away the best footballer in Canberra for the last couple of seasons at least. Terrific player.
Always gives you a consistent level of performance. Here's Griffiths with a little dinked pass to Costanzo. Yadrich gets a foot in. And here's a chance on the break. It's 3-on-2 briefly. Ugrinich looks for Balac, but Daniel Balac hasn't got the legs to get on that.
No. But Ross Costanzo's just creating some problems for Gungahlin when he's on the ball by just misplacing passes. They're actually being cut out a little bit too easily, and it's putting pressure on him and his back three teammates to actually deal with pressure that they could probably do without and could avoid.
Yeah, a little bit of rust
Perhaps.
in the early parts of the season. Laguda, who's looked pretty lively and done everything that's been asked of him so far, really.
Yeah, just one blemish with the goal, but we'll forgive him that.
Rathjen's ball forwards, and it's been picked off again, but Bangira picks up the pieces. Costanzo.
I think that's Costanzo's best way back into the game. Just keep things simple for a little while, make some passes stick and let his confidence build.
Nomoski looks for John, who's got in behind here. Good touch here from Michael John, but takes himself a little bit away from goal. Lacking a bit in support. I mean, it does come. They mess it up somewhat, and here's Subasic to bring it forward. Miragis. Got a bit quieter in the last few moments.
He's working hard off the ball, but they just seem to have his measure at the moment, and Buddy Abbas is playing him quite well. He was more effective as he played down this side, or when he came and drifted over this way.
Yeah, switch flanks with Greenwich for the time being. Griffiths. Bit a shaky start, but it's grown in confidence since his goal.
Yeah, he's done really well.
Costanzo and Habtemariam away to the races. Yardrich back to try and block the cross. Good ball in for John. Chance here, perhaps. And here's Gaspari, but he's knocked it too far ahead of him.
Just that was rustiness. The timing of the combinations there, just a little bit out of sync. Otherwise, either Michael John or Gaspari were in for a shot on goal.
Yeah, thinking maybe Gaspari would have hit that first time.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks, and John's layoff maybe would have been a little bit sharper.
I think just playing it into a better spot, and the first time shot was on. It was just a little behind him.
It was better build-up from Gungahlin.
It was good, yeah, really good. And Costanzo actually played a very good pass down the line.
Thurtell sends that forwards. Rathjen. Greenwich close to him. Midfielder does well, finds Abbas, but he's going to have to go back to his keeper from here. And Laguda looks for Habtemariam, who just rode the Challenger waters. Ryan Keir missed most of last season through injury as well. Came back. Big loss for big game for FC, I should say. Having him back and fit and ready to go. Here's Balach.
He's, along with Colbertalo, one of the best passers of the ball in the competition. Steadying influence in midfield generally, but today playing as a central defender.
As you say that, he turns the ball over straight to Michael John.
That's it, I'm going home.
Habtemariam finds McLaughlin. And that's asking a lot for the ageing legs of Misko Nomoski.
He was offside anyway.
Yeah, maybe 10 years ago. Another good servant of football in Canberra.
Been around a long time, Mishko. No, been a good servant to a number of clubs.
And still worth his weight and his place in this Gungahlin team. On the left-hand side of that front three. Although he's been forced back a fair bit today.
Yeah. Oh.
Coming up to the last 7 or so minutes of the first half. Charity Shield football on Bar TV. Canberra FC 1, Gungahlin United 1. Danny Barach's opener cancelled out by the header from Lachlan Griffiths. Greenwich. Griffiths defensively. Rathjen goes short to McLaughlin. Plenty of black and white shirts ahead.
And they seem to have sorted out defensively the space in behind. They're not as effective at the moment, FC, as they had been in that first 10 or 15.
Stanzo, touch was a bit heavy, but gets away from Greenwich. Habtemariam wants it and gets Gaspari. Almost thread it through to John, and Yardrich clears. Now if Lamb can get there ahead of McLaughlin, he was away, but that's a good challenge from the midfielder. Needed to time it well.
Yeah, he was second favourite to that, and he's come out and won it.
Rathjen. Costanzo. Here's Habtemariam. Nutmegs Matthew Waters and looks to get around him, and well, he's away again, and the referee's pulled them back for a free kick, and well, it's interesting again, he was clean through.
Yeah,
an opportunity to cross. It's not a good decision.
No, I think the referee's probably, if he had his time over, he wouldn't be blowing the whistle for that.
Trying to explain to the Gungahlin players while he's done it, and unless he was going to card Waters, you'd think he's got to let the advantage go.
Yeah, I think he's just sort of, when the ball's got away from Habtemariam a little bit, he's thinking that the defender was going to get there first, and in fact he wasn't, and he's just blown a little early. But we'll forgive him that. Well, he's had a good game.
New to the scene, I believe, in the Premier League. Didn't see him last year, so, you know, getting to know the players as well, Steve, and what they're capable of and how quick they are, etc. And as you mentioned a couple of times, it is pre-season for the referees too.
Yep.
No real harm done. Here's Habtemariam to Griffiths. Dancing around on the edge of the area, Lachlan Griffiths still going. Runs into Subasic, and here's a chance perhaps if Mirages can bring this down. Have to go on his own, and Abbas stands strong.
Yeah, 10
Had the
out
better
of
of
10.
that duel, hasn't he, since the last 5 minutes or so?
I mean, 10 out of 10 for his recovery, but Mirages was left in a lot of space.
Because Griffiths went walkabouts.
He did, but they had. I mean, he was the only player forward, and they had two back, so they could have actually picked him up a bit earlier, but they just switched off a bit. But situation rescued by a really good tackle from Buddy Abbas.
Yeah, twice. And he got
Twice,
back to
yeah.
rob him off the resultant throw as well. Here's Griffiths. McLaughlin. Abbas, probably not what he wanted, that pass in that area. Has to go back to Laguda under pressure from Barach. Namoski and Brunskill challenging, and it falls for John. McLaughlin. Namoski getting away from Brunskill here for a moment, who brings him down, and will be lucky to escape sanction here. It's probably a yellow card. For Aidan Brunskill it is.
Are we sin binning today? Is the sin bin in for the Charity Shield?
I'm assuming it would be.
Yeah.
For dissent.
So you could get a yellow card for the foul, then complain about it, and end up not being able to come back on.
True, but then you don't get suspended.
No, it's the red card you're having when you're not having a red card.
But you can have a sit down for a bit.
You can sit down for
It's
the
the
rest
one
of the
that
game.
you'll take when you're a bit tired.
Yeah, absolutely.
The upshot is a free kick to Gungahlin and an opportunity in the closing stages of the first half. 3 minutes to play. Chance for them to flood the penalty area with black and white shirts. The last set piece saw Griffiths climb highest to score. Bangira's going to lift this one in and dips it goalwards, and that's easy for Thurtell. No one from Gunners challenging the goalkeeper. Bit of a waste, that one.
It was. I'm not sure whether he was having a shot or trying to find somebody in the box, but either way.
Caught in two minds and did neither in the end.
No.
Yardrich, and cleaned up by Gaspari. I think in the Premier League that probably would have received a card.
Might have done. It wasn't as if it stopped a promising attack or anything. He was going backwards anyway. But it was late.
Here's Cobertaldo. Looking to inject his presence in the middle of the park, and they've turned the ball over again, and John tries to get away. A couple of handballs there, I think.
Done well, referee's seen it. It was handball.
Yeah, first one against Denis Subasic. And Gungahlin ending the half on the front foot. Abbas finds McLaughlin. Looks to find Habtemarian, who's making the angled run, and he'll keep it in, the winger. Twisting and turning like we used to see, and sending in a good ball too. And Michael John had got in there, and it was the boot of Ryan Keir that cleared it to safety.
Great ball in. Ryan Keir he's done well. I mean, he sliced it clear, but he's just done enough to get it away. And FC will be grateful for him for doing that.
Yeah, Habtemarian was taunting there, and at his best, he's very difficult to play against.
Yeah. And I think he's probably got the legs on Aidan Brunskill now as Aidan gets into the twilight of his career. So if he can get on the ball and facing him, he's a bit of a chance to create something for Gungahlin.
Yeah, he's had a good run at Matthew Waters on this right-hand side, so I haven't thought about switching him yet. Here's Cobertaldo, rides the challenge, does well, and looks for Waters, but Costanzo's there. Here is Habtemarian. Chance for him to take on young Yardrich, who stands up well. Ugrinich. Yardrich. Nice and composed from the youngster.
Done really well, hasn't he?
Keir.
I think from an FC point of view, Cobertaldo and Yadrich have been the pick.
It's Mirages, and Barach wants it. There's a good ball in towards Barach. Chance here for Daniel Barach. Difficult angle once the first touch had taken him away. I mean, but a good ball in from Mirages and a good run.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's getting back to what they were doing earlier in the game. But Barach then probably would have been better off. Well, he certainly would have been better off turning out, being a little bit more patient. But at least it's a forward run and some penetration that's finished with a shot, and they'll be pleased with that.
Yeah, his first touch just a little bit heavy and took him away from goal. Good signs of a combination between those front two. Into the stoppage time at the end of the first half. Griffiths raking ball forward, and a good one too, and John has stayed on side. He's peeled away from his marker. Struggling to get this under control though. Got there eventually. Brings Costanzo into play. Rathjen. Gaspari. Now Habtemeriam. And a shot from Gaspari and a decent save from Thurtell. Diving to his left. Got enough of it. And Waters defends well. And that's the last action in the first half. And Gungahlin ending on the front foot.
Yeah, well, chances at both ends. And the better of the two falling to Gaspari and bringing a good save out of Thurtell. 1-1, probably a fair result at the end of the day, with FC starting really well, causing all sorts of problems for a back three that was coming to grips with what was going on in the new season. But slowly and surely, Gungahlin have established a foothold in this, and have got themselves an equaliser and are well in this game. We can look forward to a decent second half.
We certainly can. Daniel Barrich's goal, lofted over the head of Josh Laguda, gave Canberra FC the lead in the 21st minute. A lead that lasted for around 3 or 4 minutes. Lachlan Griffiths getting clear from a corner to nod home Gungalin's equaliser, which means in the Charity Shield, the traditional curtain raiser here at Capital Football in Canberra. Half time, it's Canberra FC 1, Gungahlin United 1. Welcome back to Deakin Stadium in the Charity Shields. The second half about to start. We've had a bit of a storm at half-time, Steve, and the rain's come down and we've had a bit of lightning floating around the place. And you were hanging around near the referee's change rooms at half-time. What did you hear?
Well, there was some talk that the lightning might delay the restart of the second half. But look, it looks as if we've blown over now and we're back on the pitch ready to go. So no harm done.
No harm done indeed. Where there is harm done is on the scoreboard. 1-1 at half-time. Daniel Barach for Canberra FC. Gungahlin United equalising through Lachlan Griffiths. The teams are out for the second half, just casting our eye around to see if there's any changes. Canberra FC look like they're lining up as ended the first half. Thurtell in goal. Brunskill, Subasic, Keir, Waters, Lamb, Colbertaldo, Yadrich and Ugrinich. Barach and Maragis up front. Same can be said of Gungahlin United with their 4-3-3. Laguda in goal, Costanzo, Griffiths and Abbas, Bangura, Rathjen, McLaughlin and Gaspari, Habtemariam, John and Nomovsky up front. Referee Shane Licence-Smith, Adam Powers and Jai Lyris. Adam Powers on the far side and Lyris on this near side. Alex McConaughey, the fourth official, ready to start the second half. And if it is 1-1 at the end of 90 minutes, we won't have extra time. We will go straight to penalties.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair enough, I think, at this stage of the pre-season. We don't want to overtax them before the game starts, the season proper starts.
Or the commentary team, for that matter, with the games tomorrow at McKellar, Belconnen versus Canberra FC, WMPL, and the doubleheader Sunday in the FFA Cup. Canberra Olympic, Queanbeyan City, followed by Tigers versus Panthers, or if you wish, you can tune in and not listen to me, which is probably a good thing, some would say, to Belconnen United against Western Molonglo at the same time, 3 o'clock on Saturday afternoon. Yeah. Steve Forshaw hoping to join me in commentary for Panthers and Tigers should your match go just 90 minutes and not much more. Yeah,
if we can avoid extra time on Sunday, we'll slip over to Woden Park.
And I did get a message from Angelo Constantino at half-time clarifying that he would be okay for probably commentary, not the match. So, as we thought. Here's Nomovsky. Looking to lift that in towards John, and he's going to bring this down here. Michael John, and a good piece of defending from Matty Waters to deny the striker, who was, for a moment, looked like he was lining one up.
Yeah, better touch than he was in, wasn't he? But really good cover defending from Waters. Keir misjudged the cross. Good ball in from Nomovsky, who's got an educated left foot, but defensively held strong.
Gungahlin looking to start the second half as they ended the first by forcing Jordan Thurtell into action. Before they do that, though, Shane Licence-Smith having a little chat between Barach and Habtemariam, just a little bit of shoving. Can they pick someone out from this corner? Gaspari swings it into the near post. Griffiths was there again. This time it was Keir who beat him to the ball. Maragis. Good firm challenge from Rathjen, and the decision goes Canberra FC's way. Hardcore of Canberra FC fans to our left, Steve. About 7 or 8 of them sat in the rain having a few beers and a sing-song.
All adds to the magic of the cup, of the Charity Shield.
Good voice already this season. First chance they've had to get the vocal cords out and have a sing-song here at Deakin Stadium. They don't mind a bit of a tune, do they?
No.
With Keir, the flag may go up here against Maragis, as it is the ball will beat him to it anyway. Most people in the stands on the far sides, they're sensible.
It's a decent crowd, though, given Friday night, clement weather.
I'm kind of surprised about how waterproof this this scaffolding is with loads of holes in it. We're not getting too wet.
Don't speak too soon.
Yeah. Here's Griffiths. Goes back to his goalkeeper. Laguda made a couple of good saves in the first half, and he's shipped that one up, though, to Jadrich. And he loses it to McLaughlin, who in turn loses it to Colbertaldo, who loses it to Rathjen. And Gaspari says enough of that. Puts his foot on the ball. That rain's going to certainly speed up the surface.
Yeah.
And here's Bangura. He's got John going to the near post. Nomovsky coming in on the far post. The ball beats them all with the slight aid of a deflection. McLaughlin. Nomovsky finds Gaspari. What a pass that is. Here's Michael John, and that's a decent save from Thurtell. But what a fantastic ball that was from Gaspari, and John was in briefly, and Thurtell makes a good save. Football's the winner.
It's a world-class pass because he's. It's just the reverse pass on a slippery surface. Great run by Michael John. Great goalkeeping from Thurtell, but a wonderful, wonderful chance for Gungahlin.
Start to the second half for Marcel Munoz' team.
Yeah, they've started well.
Here's Lamb looking to give the initiative back to the home side. Waters managed to catch up with Paul Maycourt at half-time. Sitting in the VIP suite with his brother Danny, the architects of Canberra FC's treble last year, enjoying a glass of wine.
Well-deserved too. They'll be putting a statue up the front, I think, won't they?
He was impressed by what he'd seen from Deakin. He said they were playing ball around nicely and creating some good chances. Very demanding board here at Canberra FC, and their supporters can be, can't they?
Yeah, they can be, but I mean, they must have been well satisfied with the Maycourt brothers last year.
Here's Lamb. He goes down into the challenge of Abbas. That'll be a free kick and a chance maybe for one of the left footers to swing this into the danger area or perhaps even have a go at goal. Jason Ugrinich has taken control of it. Shooting chance perhaps, Steve, with this conditions, just dip it in front of the keeper?
He may have a go. It's a difficult one for a left footer, this one, especially from this distance. But he does strike a ball very well.
Well, we saw Laguda spill a couple in the first half when the conditions were a little bit more favourable than this.
Yeah, he might go near post.
Let's see what Ugrinich is going to do. He's going to lift it towards the far post instead. And the header came in. It's going to fall for Mirages, and just enough by Abbas to put him off as he swung a right boot at it.
Thought it was a good ball by Jason Ugrinich, a good ball into a good area. And they've defended it well, they've attacked it well from an FC point of view. And once again, Russell, football's the winner.
Sure won't be the last time this season. Hayden Brunskill with the throw. Cobertaldo. Brunskill. Lamb looks for Brunskill again. Can't quite keep it in. I'm sure we'll see plenty of subs today, Steve. Looking at the two benches. Mentioned for Canberra FC, Matt Gerdemischer, Ian Graham, Dom Gianpaolo, Marco Verkic and goalkeeper Sam Brown. And for Gungahlin United, some talent on there too. Zach Barbatano, Jack Green, Bernard Rene, Samuel Habtemariam and their reserve goalkeeper Jaden Virtue. So plenty of quality on the bench.
Yeah, from both teams. And in young Zach Barbatano, I think Gungahlin have got one of the up-and-coming stars of the local competition.
Here's John trying to force his way through. It's going to drop to this near side to Gaspari. He's going to try and swing it through. Rathjen and a clash of bodies in the middle of the park.
Yeah, nothing in that. I think they just run into each other.
Michael Caggiano just popped up for a second. A-League bid to drop off some gear. I think it was a wet weather jacket. He might have seen the rain and decided that he'll help us out. Canberra A-League bid still alive. Cobertado looks to slide that one through, and that's an incredibly unfortunate own goal from Bud Abbas.
Just got the wrong side of Mirages and then trying to clear it, he's dinked it into the far post. At the other end, you're talking world-class finish. This one, very, very unfortunate.
Really unfortunate for Gungahlin because they've started the second half very well, and that was an unfortunate error from Bud Abbas, and dinked it, as you said, superbly over his own goalkeeper. No chance for Laguda, and it just drifted in.
Yeah.
But FC back in front.
The ground announcer actually awarding it to Lucas Mirages, but it was definitely an own goal.
That was generous. It was definitely 100% an own goal. So 2-1 Frank, and so Frank sent me a message. I was just saying to Frank and Steve. Frank there on Wednesday. 2-1 Steve, and Gungahlin, I think Marcel Munoz will be a little bit disappointed with conceding that goal, the manner in which they've conceded, considering how well they've started the second half.
Yeah, I think, there's not a lot you can do about a little mistake like that. It's not intentional to stick it in the back of his own net, but they had started well, and he would be hoping, I think, to capitalise on that, and unfortunately it's gone the other way. Well, unfortunately from Munoz's point of view.
Well, I think if Abbas is going to score an own goal, he may as well get it out of the way at this
right
stage
now
of the season. But you wouldn't say they're out of it yet. Gungahlin, they've got plenty of time left.
And, they've shown in the first half that they've got some resilience. And having been behind before, it won't faze them.
And Abbas certainly won't be phased either. He'll just get on with it. It's got the Canberra FC supporters having a bit of a sing, that goal. That's a good ball from the keeper towards Namoski, and if he can keep this in, there's a chance here. John's arriving. He's pulled one back towards Gaspari and Lamb as the rain picks up and gets a bit heavier. Yardrich, good ball towards Barac, but the flag is up. Yeah, just starting to get a bit heavier now, Steve.
Yeah, look, I think it's probably here for the next half an hour or so. I'm not sure that we're going to get it all night, but although it's not pleasant conditions to be watching football, it's certainly something that Canberra needs.
Here's Namoski, looking to bring that forwards. Good ball towards the far post where Habtemariam is, but Waters have watched it all the way. Bangura picks it up.
He's been quiet, Augustine Bangura.
It's only getting a bit heavier now. That's up towards McLaughlin.
You're right about it being waterproof.
It's dripping a bit in here, isn't it? Just about to put the coat on for the first time this season. And try and save our notes, Steve. Here's Rathjen. Sends it forwards. McLaughlin sweeps it to this near sides. That's Nomovsky, and he's overhit that one.
Good football again, though, from Gungahlin. Kept possession well, just wasted the cross. Get a message to Alex McConaughey. I want to borrow his Mary Poppins umbrella.
We're going to get a substitution. Steve, if you can make out through the murk and the rain who's coming off. It's Abbas, unfortunately, who's coming off it after his own goal.
Cruel. Jack Green
harsh,
coming
isn't
on.
it?
Yeah. Yeah, Jack Green coming on.
That's interesting changes, because they did mention that Green perhaps wasn't 100% fit.
I know he's missed the last 2 or 3 weeks in their pre-season, so...
Well, he's taking the captain's armbands. And with an FFA Cup tie in first round of the NPL next week, it's an interesting decision from Munoz, especially if he's carrying a little tweak of these conditions as well.
Yeah, yeah. Look, he must be fit enough to come on. I mean, they wouldn't risk him otherwise. But like you say, anything can happen in these conditions if he has to stretch something.
Well, here's his first touch. Good 1-2 to find Nomoski. Infield to Rathjen. It's not quite as waterproof as I hoped, this place. Is it, Steve? Now it's raining. Habtemariam.
Yeah, it was a lot drier when it wasn't raining.
Costanzo's ball in, and it's a corner. Ironic.
Got to
Daniel, the cameraman's covered the equipment with a plastic bag. Sponsorship from the Pants Co.
You notice how his hair's gone all frizzy in the rain?
Corner to Gungahlin United. Trading 2-1.
Oh, yeah. Good
ball back here. Bangura with a shooting chance. Didn't quite get enough on it, and it might be a chance for FC to break here with Mirages. Ugrinich has peeled off. Mirages has continued the run, and he's going to get it back as well. Lung-bursting effort from the youngster, and a good ball into the area. Might fall for Barac, who's arriving late. Here's a chance for Yardrich.
Yeah, it should have taken it too. It was a good option.
Gets it back again and can't quite get there, but nice break from FC, very sharp.
Yeah. Gungahlin are just struggling to deal with the counter-attack a little bit. They're standing off people like Moragas and Ugrinich and giving them too much space, and they've been able to turn and get at them. Something, again, that I think Marcel Munoz will be working on to rectify before the season proper starts.
Well, he's got much time to do so. They're in action next weekend. We'll be back here on Friday night, hopefully in better conditions. Canberra FC versus Canberra Olympic. Not a bad effort to start a fixture to start off.
It would have been the start of last season too, if you recall, but
that's right.
It was postponed until the end of the season, and ultimately, but it was grand final time and another sub-rush.
Canberra FC this time taking the opportunity to make a change. Is it Daniel Colbertaldo striding off the field? Or trudging, I should say.
I think he's got a bit of a groin niggle, so it's probably precautionary as much as anything else. Troubled him all season last year, and I'm not sure that he's come into this game 100%, but he's had a very good first half. I know that they're in front. They're probably looking to hold on to that anyway.
Certainly will. FC sending on Matt Gerbischer. And Gerbischer will go into the back four, you'd imagine.
Oh, I'd have thought
and
so.
push Waters further forward.
Not a bad substitution.
Plenty of experience in Matty Gerbischer.
Yeah.
Looks trim and fit, doesn't he?
He looks okay, yeah.
Ready to go around for another season. Mirages. Good little knockdown, but Griffiths read it. McLaughlin. Kaspari has come more into it in the second half, and that's why with his range of passing, good ball to Nomoski. He gets in here, Mishka Nomoski, and you could see what he was trying to do, bend it in that top corner. And
it looked to be caught in two minds, didn't he? Whether you'd find Michael John or go himself, and in the end he's gone in between them both.
Came on that right foot, didn't it? Would have liked to probably drop it on his left if he could.
Great ball in behind again from Gaspari, though, and a good run from Nomoski.
My notes are cactus, Steve. The rain stumbled them. Here's Brunskill. Eased off a little bit, the rain, fortunately. Here's Yardrich.
Been very impressive, the young man.
Here's Lamb. Bit of space for you, Greenwich. Curls one goalwards and didn't quite get it on target. Laguda was happy to see it go by, but going back to Yardrich, he's given Luca Usta a real question over next week. Does he bring back Ian Graham for the first game of the season in the middle of the park? Or does he stick with the youngster?
I think he's prepared to, but you've got the age-old question. Do you go with a little bit more experience, a little bit more steel from Ian Graham, who does a lot of dirty work for FC, or do you maintain the consistency and continuity that Jadrick's providing through the midfield, especially with his...
Well, they're not going to miss much, are they, if they do decide to go down that route?
No, and he's establishing a really good relationship with Cole Bataldo as well, which, only bodes well for FC.
Here's Rathjen, who's been equally impressive for Gungahlin. Bangira looks to send that one through, and easy enough for Aidan Brunskill to ease that one back to his goalkeeper.
Yeah, the young man going the other way, Gungahlin, Bangira, he'll have better games this year because he's quite a talented young player, but it hasn't been his night tonight.
Yeah, we've seen him have better games, haven't we, in the NPL last year?
He's a good lad.
And that's a good ball forwards for Mirages, who brings it down brilliantly. Chance for him to run at Costanzo here. Lucas Mirages gets a shot away, and it's just drifting past the post. Little snapshot of what the youngster can provide.
Absolutely. I mean, defenders hate it, don't they? Somebody running him at pace. He's getting it onto his favoured left foot. He plays it across. I mean, hasn't hit the target, but it's a great effort.
The only thing that was lacking, really, the touch was superb. The creation of his own space was good and didn't quite test the goalkeeper.
But when you're playing three at the back, you don't have that second defender in areas like that, and it's very, very dangerous against a player like Mirages or Grinic, for that matter.
Here he is again, Mirages, and he's going to find Yadrich, but Bangira's back with a tackle. And a chance for Griffiths to bring it forward. He finds Green. Gaspari. A lot of space on that far side for Habtemariam, which is where the pass was aimed.
Bit ambitious, though.
Didn't get enough on it. Here is Habtemariam, and that's a nice little turn, and he's bought his team a free kick. Did Matty Waters. There's been a good little duel, that one.
Yeah, it's been good to watch. Matty Waters, I think, has probably shaded it, but certainly Habtemariam's had his moments.
I don't want to be too harsh to the officials, but each time Habtemariam's won the duel, he's pulled him back for a free kick.
Yeah. Well, certainly there was one occasion that was definitely the case.
Shane Lyson-Smith's done pretty well in the middle, though.
I think he's done all right.
Fishhead missed free kick that just swung in there, and Thurtell came, didn't get anywhere near it. Was bailed out by his defence. It's up towards Badach. Probably could have tried to bring that down if he bring his teammates into play. Went for the flick instead.
It's the ball last year that Michael Mensah was eating up from.
Misses presence.
Yeah, Barrach, not the same sort of player as Mensah. So physically big, but not the same sort of number 9 that Mensah provided for them.
Some character, Michael Mensah, wasn't he?
Yeah. He would have loved the sin bin, I think.
Didn't mind a chat. Some outrageous skills. Remember that overhead kick he pulled off down here and coached for a bit last season?
Yeah, I think he was on the books to go around again here, but has moved on to greener pastures.
Well, the change for Gungahlin United. Jeremy Haptamariam has got through about 60 minutes, and he's been pretty good, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Haptamariam on his return.
Yeah, he's done okay. I mean, it's probably something that they decided before the game that they would only give him, 60, 65 minutes and then give the young boy a go. And I like this kid. I think he's going places, Barbatano. And
yeah, I saw him in pre-season and he looked very sharp.
he is indeed. He's another lad that did really well in the summer with the Youth League, one of the better players. Dinu Greenwich did very, very well with a side that was, up against it right from the word go. But
given away a few years as well, wasn't they?
Oh, yeah. And I think you've got to give a lot of credit to the coaching staff and to the players that they've been competitive in all those matches.
Let's see, Barbatano's got around 25 minutes or so to show us what he's made of and try and get his team back into this contest. And remember, if they do get back to 2-2, it will go straight to penalties at the end of 90 minutes. There will be no extra time. Lamb, a little bit short with the layoff. John. McLaughlin, there's one for Barbatano to get after. And he's got plenty of pace. Waters is there with him, but Barbatano won the race but couldn't keep the ball into a dangerous area. And that's a bit of a mistake from Thurtell. Gaspari picks it up and tries his luck from range, and that was dipping as well, and that was well worth an effort from Josh Gaspari. Struck it superbly.
He did indeed. I think Thurtell was back and had it covered, but it was a great effort. Great vision from Gaspari.
Would have had him worried for a moment.
Yes.
Green. Response to going behind has been good from Gungahlin United, and that'll please Munoz.
Very similar to the first half. They went behind in the first half and then came back into the game, and they've done it again. But they started this second half really well.
Griffiths. Costanzo.
I think if FC are to get some joy, it'll be down their left. I just think Costanzo's struggling with a little bit of fatigue at the moment.
Well, here's Lamb. He's created some space for himself and looks to find Yadrich through the middle. Out comes Laguda. Reads it very well again, like he has done for most of the afternoon, or evening, I should say. Gaspari. He's certainly come into it in the second half. He's dictating the pace for Gungahlin.
Looks if he's playing a little more central than he was in the first half, and I think that's probably better suits him.
McLaughlin. Green's made the run on the overlap, and Nomoski's gone through the middle, but the flag's up. Went a little bit too early. Halfway through the second half in the Charity Shield, it's Canberra FC 1, Gungahlin United 2 here at Deakin Stadium. An own goal.
It's actually FC 2.
Sorry, FC 2, Gungahlin United 1, early days.
Yeah.
Looking at the wrong way around the scoreboard. Well, they have scored twice, Gungahlin United. I was about to say Buddy Abbas' own goal is what separates the two sides.
And you laughed at me about Jack Green.
For getting it out of the way early. It's been a long week. Here's Costanzo. Looking to bring the Gunners back into it if they can. Good ball that forwards, and here's Gaspari looking for John in behind. Here's Michael John, real chance for 2-2, but he slid it wide.
He was offside anyway.
He was, the flag had gone up.
And but they are the sort of chances that he needs to finish if Gungahlin are going to do well this year.
Very similar to the one in the cup final last year.
Yeah.
When he got in behind, but that's what he's dangerous at. It's what he's good at, getting in sharply in behind defenders.
His movement is very, very good. He plays off shoulders, and he's got people in his side that can pick the pass to actually take advantage of the movement, and he has. But he needs to finish more consistently, and I think that is a problem Gungahlin have faced over the last 12 months, and they need to get that sorted quickly.
Sebasic, Kier, Yadrich. Nice feet from the youngster. Lamb. Looking for an option. Well, that's left a bit short. Barbatano was in there and he's collided with Matty Gerbischer, whose first challenge is to leave Barbatano in a heap on the ground. Jordan Lamb threw him a hospital ball there, didn't he?
It wasn't the best ball into Matty Gerbischer, and I think it was a genuine attempt to play the ball, just that the young fellow was a tad quick and he's caught him a bit late. Genuine free kick, but nothing more.
It's not what you want after being sat down the bench for 60 odd minutes, and
you could do without it, that's for sure.
They go short. Here's Gaspari, shooting chance again from Gaspari. Fires one goalwards, and that's a great stop from Jordan Thurtell to push it round the post.
Gaspari certainly brought his shooting boots in the second half, and yeah, very, very good stop. But Thurtell comes with a reputation for being a very, very good keeper.
Canberra FC asleep on the free kick, though, and gave Gaspari too much room. That's twice now he's gone close, and might be third time's a charm. It's another set piece.
And Jack Green in the box.
He's a target as normal, and Barbatano won the header but couldn't direct it goalwards. But don't want to be giving Gaspari too many efforts from there.
Not with efforts like that. If he's consistently going to provide that sort of shooting, then they're going to score from range.
Double change for FC.
Brunskill and... Is it Ugrinic going off? No?
Well, it looks like Graham and Giampaolo, isn't it?
Jadridge and Brunskill off.
And Graham and Giampaolo on, which is going to give us a little bit of a reshuffle.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ian Graham obviously comes to shore things up, and Giampaolo perhaps to add a little bit of flair going forward.
Be interesting to see where they go with this. Giampaolo's come out to this near side. Ian Graham slotted into the central midfield role where Jardrich was. Jordan Lamb's gone to right back.
So you've now got Ryan Keir and Ian Graham, which is the central midfield pairing from last season's successful year.
Keir wins it. Giampaolo. Now Lamb. Good ball forward. A lovely turn from Mirages. Finds Giampaolo. His first real involvement is a good one. Barach is there. Looks to backheel it. Mirages once more. And just runs into Jack Green, who's seen it all before. Off he goes on a run, and we know how much he likes to bring the ball forwards. Gaspari. Now Green again. Sort of getting himself stuck under his own feet there, isn't he? Yeah. And here's a chance for Canberra FC. With Barach, Mirages has gone offside, so is Ugrinic. And in the end, Barach took too long, and it's Gungahlin with Green. Looking for Barbatano.
He'll recover this too. If they can get players in the box now, they're a chance.
Standing up, Waters firing it across. Cleared by Graham. Might come straight back though.
Will now.
Bangura. Gaspari. Taking the game by the scruff of the neck at the moment, just Gaspari.
Changed the game with his involvement.
Here he is again, crossing opportunity. Plenty of time to pick out a black and white shirt. Look for Barbatano.
Wasn't his best effort, was it?
The youngster's going to regather and win a free kick for a foul by Matt Waters in a dangerous area. Yes. Pretty needless, that.
Yeah, silly free kick to give away. He was going nowhere. He was going back towards his own goal. He had no support. FC were a chance of actually picking pieces up there or bits up there, and now he's just given them an avenue to goal.
Especially with the height of Jack Green on the far post. Dom Giampaolo's picking him up, and I think he swapped it with Ryan Keir at the moment. So they've gone short though. Rathjen looks for Green on the far post, and Keir won the header. Here's Giampaolo. Nicely played. Barach 3-on-3 momentarily. If Barach can swing it to the other side of the field, Mirages will look to help it on its way. Keir gets it to its destination. Ugrinic still going. Barach, shooting chance for Barach, and it's swerved again, and Laguda saves it with his legs.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you're there to save him, and he's done that, but I think the movement of the ball deceived him completely.
Yeah, once again, when the players are striking, cutting across the ball in the hit, it's certainly got some movement to it. It's going to be a nightmare for goalkeepers this season.
It could well be, and you know, off this slippery surface, it's picking up pace, isn't it, as well?
Decent save again there from the young keeper.
Did what he was paid to do.
FC looking to put this one to bed with 17 minutes to play. Charity Shield finished 3-1 last year in favour of Canberra Olympic.
Yeah, Olympic, wasn't it?
Yeah. Nick Popovic scored the first goal in that game. Like I said earlier, a couple of goals from Jeremy Habtemarian. Daniel Sokowski has gone for Tuggeranong United, who were beaten in the final. They've got an FFA Cup game on Sunday as well, which we should mention, against O'Connor Knights. Not a given by any stretch of the imagination.
No, but I think Tuggeranong, you know, will be looking to build on their finals finish last year, so it's a game that they won't take lightly, but they would expect to win.
I was talking to Goran Jozefovski from Queanbeyan City about the FFA Cup today and saying it's a free hit for these MPL2 sides, really. They're not expected to win, but chance for them to go out there and show everyone what they can do, and you never know.
I mean, it's, Western Molonglo are going to Mackellar, and you don't get to play at a stadium like Mackellar every week. So they come, they'll be full of beans. They did well against Canberra City. So once again, it's a potential banana skin for us, and we'd have to take it seriously and be on top of our game.
And not next week, but the week after, in a fortnight's time, there's 2 other FFA Cup games. Woden Western have a potentially real tricky one against White Eagles, and Canberra FC have a home match against Brindabella Blues, who we saw come from 3-0 down to beat Narrabundah 4-3 after extra time in their FFA Cup tie a couple of weeks ago, and their reward is a trip here on this surface, and they'll be looking forward to that.
Of course they will. Of course they will. I mean, this is just a fantastic arena for playing football at.
Under lights that one in midweek. Jeremy Butler will be getting his side amped up for that one. And White Eagles will fancy their charges against a Woden Western side that have looked a little shaky in pre-season.
Yeah, but pre-season's form notoriously unreliable. Then you would think that Woden might have enough, but it's, as you suggest, no given.
They were missing Woden Western in pre-season. Dengalea Deng and Martin Deng. Aaron Cashman fractured his cheekbone in a freak training ground accident as well, so they haven't had their full tide out on the park just yet. Ray Castro will be hoping that he can get them fit and firing for that one.
Absolutely. And it makes a big difference if you can get your more reliable players on the park.
In the meantime, Chowdy Shield ticks on, 15 minutes to go. A few flashes of lightning around the grounds. Gaspari tried to go early.
There's no need to stop it again. I think the referee's just a little quick with his whistle.
Just on Woden Western, you know you're having a bad pre-season when one of your midfielders comes back from Africa with malaria, and the other one, and then your captain fractures his cheekbone in a freak accident. It's you
could do without that, couldn't you?
Yeah, probably can. Not the smoothest of pre-seasons for Ray Castro over there at Woden Western. We're sure they'll pick up because they played some good football last season as well. They were on the cusp of the finals at one stage. They ended up with 15 points in 7th after they slipped away towards the tail end.
They lose, of course, the speed of
Olegi Nkika-Hines up front.
Yeah.
But they've replaced him with Alex Olarugby, proven goal scorer at MPL level.
And I think he bagged a hat-trick for him in a pre-season game last week.
Certainly did. Unfortunately for Woden, they shipped 7 at the other end against Monero Panthers, who we'll see on Sunday. Here's Barach looking to get away. Jimmy Canlarid's new look, Monero Panthers.
Yeah. They looked, we played them in a pre-season game. They looked quite sharp.
They defeated Belconnen United 2-0 that night. And they'll be hopeful that they can push on from last year and try and get into the top 4 or even push for those final spots.
Well, again, you bring a lot of players in and it brings with it its own sort of pressure. And the people at Monero behind the scenes will be looking to both Jimmy and Cole Sturton to actually improve on their more recent performances.
It should be a free kick. Mirages is brought down. Tell you what, it's shaping up to be a great season. There's stories and plots and subplots throughout Canberra, and we're looking forward to bringing it all to you here on Bar TV Sports throughout the season with the new landmark streaming deal with Capital Football, in which every game will be streamed live. We'll be hoping to bring you goals within the games we're commentated on as well. We'll be able to keep you up to date with everything. Should be a great season as Tommy McLaughlin done his dash, and Sam Hampton-Merriam is going to come on.
Yeah, the live streaming development within Canberra football is a fantastic initiative, is it not? I mean, I think everybody's looking forward to that because it does give you a little bit more exposure. We're
a bit biased here, obviously, Bar TV Sports, but great to see the grassroots football and other sport around the country getting the exposure it deserves. That ball towards the far post, and out comes Laguda, wins it at the second attempt, and will look to send his team on the front foot. Final 12 minutes of this. Lamb needs to read it, and did just about.
Yeah, did enough. Not bad distribution, though, from the young goalkeeper. He's
struck a few like that, hasn't he? He puts his foot through it.
He looks a good all-round keeper, doesn't he?
Very David De Gea-like in that kind of distribution and striking the ball down the field.
Who?
Some bloke. Plays in goal overseas somewhere.
Gary Sprague.
Gary Sprague. Coming from the Leeds fan, I'll be hoping his side can work their way into the Premiership. Griffiths. Great ball finds Namoski. Can he find a delivery into the middle? Habtemariam was in there straight away. The younger of the Habtemariam brothers. Good defending though from FC. Here's Gaspari. Griffiths. Rathjen. Very impressive this afternoon, Nicky Rathjen. Looks for Green, who stayed forwards. Good flick on as well. Now here's Namoski. Can he load it into the penalty area? Just overhit once more. That final ball just not there for Gungahlin at the moment.
You see it a lot though with left-footed players when they turn back onto their right foot. They tend to overhit it.
Chance for Ugrinic perhaps to stretch his legs. But runs straight into Jack Green, who could bring it away. Namoski. Green again. Effortlessly glides across the turf. Griffiths. Habtemariam, but read at the back by Subasic. And anywhere will do at the moment. Costanzo. Gaspari. Costanzo once more. Just a little bit too slow. They've looked better when they've been zipping that ball around, haven't they? The style of football that Marcel likes to play, the quick passing, the movement, the fluid movement between his players. When they've done it, they've looked sharp.
They've actually created the better of the chances in the second half through that sort of football. Namovski's having a field day down here on the...
Well, since the reshuffle.
Yeah.
Griffiths. Steps away from Balach. Gaspari, who's really dictating everything that they do at the moment. Jordan Lamb sent that forward, but red shirts can't get hold of it. It's all black and white at the moment.
It's very, very similar to the FFA Cup final last year, where Gungahlin had a period in the second half where they looked like they might be able to pinch it, and then up popped FC to run away with it. But FC showed in that game, and they're showing again today, that defensively they are very resilient.
Rathjen. It's not worked for him, and Waters can find Kier. Bit of space for Balach. Ugrinic. Griffiths just eases him out of it though, and that's well played from the defender. Now John, 5 red shirts against 1 black and white though.
Yeah, but I think FC, as the season progresses, will be looking to Jason Ugrinic to do a little bit more than he's done in the last couple of possessions. I mean, everybody knows he's a proven goal scorer.
Here he is, looking to play that ball through, and he's got Mirages in here. Out comes Laguda to deny him. It might fall for Balach. Thought about it first time. Balach then fires it and is off target. He may have been better off hitting it first time. And
well, it looked to be the option, didn't it? Goalkeeper out. It did very well to come out of Mirages' feet and get a block. But once it runs free to Balach.
On its left-hand side as well.
Yeah, why not finish?
He'd be disappointed he's not added to his tally. Could have had a hat-trick, in fact, Balach today. And just as you were saying about Ugrinic, he puts that through ball through a lovely pass.
That's the sort of thing that I think Jason's brought to the club to do. Not just score goals, but to actually create for people like Balach.
And it's a good ball too, with the pace of Mirages, and he got him in. Good keeping again from Laguda. Here's Gianpaolo. Fires for Mirages once more. And he goes down. And definitely got clipped.
Yeah.
Free kick to FC.
I think he's made the most of it, but it looked a late challenge, didn't it?
And there's a yellow card.
Here comes the yellow ticket.
That was that Sam Habtemariam, I think.
I think so. I think that's probably Sam's first involvement.
Nearly got on the end of the cross at one end, didn't he? And then picks up a yellow card at the other. As you said, I think Mirages made sure that the referee knew it was a foul. Well, Dom Gianpaolo, who's flitted in and out of it since he's come on. He's lined this one up. Definitely within shooting range for a player of his quality on his return to Deakin Stadium.
It's not the greatest of angles, but I think something with a little bit of pace on will serve FC really well.
What can Gianpaolo do as a flash of lightning illuminates behind the goal. Gianpaolo swings one in, and Laguda's there and palmed it down and picked it up again at the second attempt. Looks to get his team on the front foot with Rathjen. Slips. And Barach takes advantage. A few tired legs out there now.
Yeah.
Here is Barach. Maragis on the left foot, fires one goalwards. Decent save, Laguda. Flag goes up on the rebounds. Keeper's denied them again, even though it's gone in the back of the net. Good save again from Josh Laguda.
It was great strike. Again, ball moving viciously through the air, and Laguda's managed to parry it. Unfortunately for FC, Ryan Keir on the follow-up's been caught offside.
6 minutes to go. Still 2-1. Barbatano looking to challenge with Keir. With Gerbischer, I should say.
Yeah, I think it was Gerbischer, wasn't it?
On that far side. Under the lights. In front of the stands, over on the far-hand side. Time ticking away. 6 minutes left of the Charity Shield, and at the moment, Canberra adding another pot to their already burgeoning trophy cabinets, unless Gungahlin have something to say about it. Bangura's shot. Hapsamariam's there. Brings it down. Barbatano tries to get it into the area. Nodded clear by Ian Graham, but it's going to fall for Jack Green on the edge of the box. Done for Jack Green onto that left-hand side. Down he goes in the area. Should be a penalty. Not given. From where we were stood, it looked an absolute certainty.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think he was going down before the contact was made, but gee, you've seen him given, haven't you?
Well, we haven't got the benefit of a replay, unfortunately, but my first initial reaction was that it was a penalty.
Yeah, you certainly you got very excited over it.
Don't think that Jack Green's the kind of player that would take a tumble unless there was some sort of contact. But anyway, FC have dodged it. It's not been given. The referee was on the spot. I'm sure we'll have a look at that back at that one later on. They don't get that decision either.
No, but again, you see just how determined they are not to give space away in and around their own penalty area. They're a very, very well organised defensive set.
I don't know if there's any replays for you at home. If you've seen it, let us know. If you think it was a spot kick.
Look, it could have been. You've seen them given, there's no doubt about it. But
well, either was or wasn't. Wasn't it, Steve?
I'm in the presence of genius.
Nice thing to say about the cameraman, Daniel. Framing his shots superbly tonight. Bringing you all the action from Deakin Stadium. As time ticks away, we're into the final 5 minutes. And FC, the treble winners last season, edging ever closer to yet another trophy.
Yes, it's do or die now for Gungahlin, with the probably going into last 6 or 7 minutes with a little bit of injury time. And if they're going to get out of this, they need to be doing something now.
Ball's at the wrong end for them in that respect. Hoiked away by Costanzo. Nicely done by Barbatano. Gungahlin look to break. Here's John, he'll get there. Namoski's busting a gut to get down this left flank, and he's going to receive it. Here is Namoski. Green. The pocket of space to try and squeeze that one through. Haptamariam's there, but Gerbischer gets a foot on it. Now Gianpaolo has Barach up ahead of him, and here goes Daniel Barach. Very tired looking Daniel Barach. Griffiths came across to win the ball.
Just looked I mean, it may well be fatigue, but he's just looked half a yard off the pace in the second half, Daniel Barach. He's found good space coming off the back four, or back three, but hasn't been able to get away from his closest defender. Promisingly,
though, for Luca Uster is the fact that he's got into some spaces to score goals.
Yeah.
They'll be hoping he can bring a goal tally, at least in double figures, I'd imagine. I mean, that's the least that Barach would want himself, I would have thought.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
FC still having a look. And Keir kicks that one out of play. Mitch Stevens, Tuggeranong United's head coach, has said he loves Jack Green, but no penalty for him. So he's obviously seen the replay, and Mitch is an astute judge, so...
Well, he must be if he agrees with me.
Well, so that's one that says no penalty. Well, two that says it's no penalty. So at the moment, if we were rolling the three, including the referee, I guess. Yeah. If we were running a poll, clearly wins. Now Maragis is down in a little bit of pain here. I don't know whether that's a bit of cramp for the young lad. Looks like it, doesn't it? run his socks off so far.
Yeah, I think it's crap.
He's certainly put a shift in, hasn't he? And he showed us on occasions what he's capable of.
I think he's had a good game. He's probably drifted in and out of it a little bit, but by and large his work off the ball's been good. He's had a couple of decent efforts on goal. He's, from defending from the front line, he's done well. So I don't think they'll be too disappointed in the FC camp with Lucas's game.
Jack Green gives the ball back as we enter the final 70 seconds of the match, plus a little bit of stoppage time, I'm sure we'll see. Thurtell to send this into the night sky. Barach on the far side, battling with Barbatano, who's done well. Now here's Bangura. Tried to squeeze it through towards Hapta Mariam, but it's easy for Lamb, and now here's a lot of space for Gianpaolo. Sam Hapta Mariam tracking back with his fresh legs. Gianpaolo was hoping that Ugrinic was going to help him out, but instead only found Rathjen. Lucas Moragic joins us for the final 30 seconds or so, running a bit gingerly. Can't keep it in play, and time ticking away for Gungahlin United again. They've come close, but haven't quite got across the line.
Not quite dead. I mean, I think from a pre-season point of view, Marcel Munoz will be delighted with the way his team's shown the character to try and come back after twice trailing. They've lacked a little bit of quality in the final third early on, and it was rectified quite quickly, but early on they just looked a little exposed to the back. But certainly since Jack Green's come on, they've looked far more solid, and they have probably dominated possession in the second half, so they'll be reasonably happy, as will CFC, given that they started the game really well and have now pinched a lead as well.
When they're giving the ball away, here's a real chance for Barbatano, and Thurtell's recovered it. He was the one that made the error,
yeah.
And Barbatano had the chance to level it.
I'm not sure why Barbatano doesn't finish that. Very similar to the Barrett, the better option appeared to be hit at first time.
Just ran away from him on that second touch, didn't it, when he got in there? He was bright enough to get there.
Yeah, not the sort of thing you want your goalkeeper to do this close to the finish line. Just a little bit sloppy from Jordan Thurtell, but I think you can put that down to the fact that it's the first really competitive match they've had.
And we're into stoppage time. That was perhaps the last chance for Gungahlin United. Didn't see a board from the fourth official. I'm sure Thurtell will send this as far as he can at the other end of the park. Barach. Challenge with Costanzo. Is there one last chance for Gungahlin United to force their way back into the contest?
He's certainly checking his watch.
Costanzo's ball forwards. Free kick, the flag's gone up, and it's been given. And they will launch everybody into the penalty area. Josh Laguda
Here he goes.
is joining us. The keeper is going to get in there as well, and why not? Truck everybody into the penalty area. Are we going to get a dramatic conclusion, which will send us straight to penalties, Steve?
Can Laguda notch it?
Well, he's been good at the other end. He's seen how the ball moves, so...
What I don't understand in situations like this, you've got the goalkeeper in the penalty and then three field
Three
players.
defenders back here. Costanzo on the halfway line, and the free kick. Something happening on the far side there, I think, with the referee.
I think
Shane Lyson-Smith. There's a yellow card for someone on the bench. Is it Marcel?
I'm not sure.
Marcel Munoz. Maybe someone's picked up a card anyway. Alex McConaughey bringing the referee's attention to it. So someone amongst the substitutes or the coaching staff has said something out of turn and got yellow card. Anyway, free kick. Everybody in and around the penalty area except for Costanzo on the halfway line. Gaspari lifts it in towards Laguda. It's one in the air. Ball's still going to bounce around. Barbatano was there too. It's been hoiked away, and that is that. Canberra FC pick up where they left off in 2018, claiming the first trophy of the season, Steve. But a 2-1 win, it could have gone either way.
It could have gone either way. I think the way FC started and created those early chances probably means that the result's a fair one, but the winning goal is an own goal at the end of the day. So you eliminate that slight mistake from Buddy Abbas and this game goes to penalties. So both teams, I think, will be relatively happy with the performances tonight. Both teams will look forward to being competitive throughout the year. And congratulations to FC who've come away with the Charity Shield and make it 4 trophies in a row.
Well, good. Thanks for your company tonight, Steve. Good luck in your cup match on Sunday afternoon against Western Molonglo. We'll hopefully hear from you all about it in the Tigers-Panthers game when you join us in commentary. Don't forget, tomorrow you can tune in on Bar TV Sports to watch live Women's National Premier League from 3:15. Belconnen United v Canberra FC, the rematch of last year's grand final, should be a cracker. Sunday's double-header, of course, live from Worden Park, Canberra Olympic versus Queanbeyan City, followed by Tigers versus Panthers, or you can tune in with no commentary to 2 other games, Western Molonglo, Belconnen United, as we mentioned, and Tuggeranong O'Connor Knights as well, so that should be good. We finish here, though, at Deakin Stadium, as we ended last year with those in red celebrating another trophy. Daniel Barach gave them the lead with a lobbed finish in the first half. Lachlan Griffith's header levelled it up, but an unfortunate own goal from Gungahlin fullback Bud Abbas means that Luca Uster starts his reign as Canberra FC head coach with a trophy in the cabinet. The full-time score in the Capital Football Charity Shield, Canberra FC 2, Gungahlin United 1.